Hello. Shit, that was weird. I'm gonna edit that out. So, yeah. So we were currently working on this project, NFT marketplace, and we are making this function get all NFTs, which is a public. Uh, you get the thing. Now we we were on this line of code. Yeah. Now I don't want to be like someone who just doesn't pay attention. So I'm gonna start. Oh shit. So I'm gonna start to code on my own. So let's just read this line of code. First of all, if you guys are getting started into this thing, what you guys need to do is to read the code first of all. Read it, try to understand it. That's the main motive of it. You can't, you just can't be better at coding without reading someone else's code. I don't want you to watch it, I want you to read it, understand it while writing it yourself. Like, here I am, I have the screen of pre-written code by this YouTube channel, Alchemy. Uh, they have helped me a lot in this whole thing, as I understood a lot from them. And this is the project that we were working upon. It's Road to Web3 Week 7 NFT Marketplace, and yeah, I just you know get clone this whole script into my VS Code, and I just thought that it would be nice to just make this whole thing, like write this whole thing myself. That's why you see this two errors here, because first of all, which is expected identifier but got uh, let's just ignore these ones because these ones are gonna be solved. uh, Main one is this one: node modules console not found file outside of allowed directories. This happened because we are here making another website, another sorry, another file that is using the same uh, node module, so module file. So yeah, I think you get the point. If Pardon me if I'm being choppy while explaining all of this to you, but yeah. Now, so few of the things that we need to do in this whole thing is to first just write our code. So here we were. He wrote, these are called comments. The one with 2 slash, yeah. Once you see a green line on any of the coding, I shouldn't say green line because I don't know. There must be a lot of green colors. Like here, this UNT is using some different kind of green, so I can't say that. So once you see these two slashes here, that's when you understand it's an comment made by anyone. These comments don't get read, they are exclusively for developers, so you don't have to be worried about that. it's gonna show up in your code, or it's gonna run through the deployment process. And here we are, it's function get all NFTs. It's a public function. First of all, I think that you guys must have explained what is a function, but still for the sake of the video I'll explain it again. A function uh, is a function. Like how do you how do you tell the machine that it needs to function upon something? You need tell it manually that it's a function, or otherwise else it won't understand what it is. It's a data type. It's gonna store data, store a bunch of data if you tell it what it needs to do. So here you define it's a function, of course. The function is get all NFTs, non-fungible tokens. I know it's you guys are not gonna go into exams related to that, so you don't need to memorizing the full form of NFT like that. But I still think that it's a pretty good way to, I don't know, to remember all of this. Public function is, there are two types of function. There is a private function and there is a public function. So I'll explain it overall. You guys could stop the video when I'll actually search it up on the internet. You guys could stop the video, or you guys could search it up yourself. So I want you guys to open your laptop. I hope you have opened it and writing this code with me. So open your laptop, search what is public function, what is private function with me. So I think, yeah, you could pause the video till then. So I think you're back, and I think you know what is a public function and what is a private function. If you can't know it, let me summarize it for you from the, I don't know which thing you were using, but I think that most of you went on to any Google device. So public and private difference in solidity, and there is this more important skill that you always need to have as much resources. You need to collect the resources from YouTube, from places. You need to do that. You can't just keep it like that. So I think that's an important skill. So for public state variable, Solidity automatically creates a getter function. Internal functions variables can be only used internally or be derived. I think you guys didn't understand anything from here. When they write it like that, even I don't. So let's go on this Ethereum Stack Exchange. It is a great platform for the people who need to learn, who need to ask some dumb questions like me about coding related stuff. So yeah, you guys could ask dumb questions. I hope they won't judge you, they won't. So here do we start, and let's see. So this is the most basic derivation, which is someone is honking behind, and I know that I'm poor, guys. I'm poor. Like the area I live in, it's a good place, but I personally am poor, so I don't have the I don't know, the place to make I don't know, just a confined room to access all of this. So public, all can access. A public function, if you derive a function as a public function, everyone can access it. This kind of functions can be like, what do you say? Let's say, I'll explain it to you through normal examples. I keep a door in front of everyone. It's it can be accessed by everyone. It's everyone's door. It's a mall store. It can be accessed everyone by everyone. Uh, and now here is external function. Now what is external function? Cannot be accessed internally, only externally. Now this is the main doubt that will arise from this kind of function, because uh, external function is, well, as simple as it gets. It could be only accessed uh, externally. But what do you mean by externally? Let's assume that that same door can only be opened by the people outside, like it's your home store, and you are locked within your home, and somehow you broke your whole door's handle. So all the people could not access that door. You cannot access that door, but the people outside could. So you just call your buddy up, you just tell him that, you know, can you please open this door for me? And they'll be like, yeah, sure, dude. And they'll open this. So yeah, that's external, and then there's internal. Now I'll go into more detailed version of this because it's an important function. Only this contract and contracts deriving from it can access. Now, an internal function, let's assume that you have a contract or a function that is using a variable that is using internal uh, subset. I don't know what can you call this. I don't know. If anybody knows, please tell me. And if anybody knows about any of this stuff, please let me know. Um, even though I have been here for I think half a year, I could be wrong in millions of places, so please tell me. Internal function, only this contract and contracts deriving it from it can access. And private can be accessed only from this contract. Now, only from this contract, what does that mean? Let's say public all can access. That's a public door. A private can only be accessed by you. It's like your own private function. Nobody could change it. Nobody could make the changes in the state of law, in the state of your contract, if you have the private function there. Well, the public function people can. It's like, I don't know, you can make changes to it. Internal is have only this contract. It's as you can notice, private is a subset of internal, external is a subset of public. Yeah. So that's I think you guys know it till now. So let's go back to coding and listed token. First of all, I think I should explain all of this to you. So I'll just cancel this for now and I'll explain this. So every Solidity file needs this line, especially this line, SPDX license identifier unlicensed. Why? You can have different kind of identifiers, uh, but this is what we usually use. and this is the pragma solidity version. Mine is 0.80, as the solidity has just started. uh, it doesn't have that many versions. If you want to uh, look it up, I think the most, yeah, so this was control. How I had this window, you have to touch control plus shift plus P at the same time. So yeah, so if you do that, I think this is the latest version, 0.817. This is the latest version. I am using 0.80 because this particular file is supported by that. Uh, so yeah, this I think this line is over. You have to import things. Now, how do you import, and what is even import? For importing a file could be a present file. It has to be a present file. You can't not import a file if it is not in your folder. So all of this is present when we get copy the whole thing. And this is a fun function. Like, you can just touch on something and it will just highlight all of the things as same as it. So for writing, you have to do this. Like, you have to write, for importing you have to write the import function. Import function imports a file that is already existing into this particular file, so that this file could access that same file. You know what I mean? uh, it's it's like it's like just giving your access. It's like giving the to key of a door to people. That's really wrong. You should not give your key to the people, and you should not do that. And so yeah, here you are. So first of all, this part was not included in the get ignore, sorry, get clone, the whole alchemy thing. This node modules dot dot. Uh, why it wasn't included? Because I don't know. Maybe his file was okay. It was being directed towards it. Uh, but if you remove this, uh, it will throw errors. Go on, do it yourself. See those errors? Those errors are because if you go on to find it, you won't actually know why you are getting that error, and you'll see a millions of things trying to solve that error. Though it was a simple error, all you have to do is there is this node module. Here you have all of the, everything is here, this node module. So you just had to show it the way. That's all you had to do. So you import it. So just there's this contract. Contract is like when you start writing a solidity contract, you have to define it. First of all, there are contracts in solidity. There is Those contracts are what we call smart contract. So if you look at The history of smart contracts, it was first implied by Ethereum on its chain. Uh, Cryptocurrencies still existed. There were smart contracts that were really primitive on the Bitcoin chains. So when Ethereum came up, it thought that this idea has a lot of potential. So it just thought that why not do this? So it started making its own language. So yeah, Solidity is Ethereum's own language. Like they don't speak it. It's for writing smart contract. It's it's a good thing you could use to write a smart contract, and the only thing you could use, as much as I know, to write a smart contract on Ethereum chain. So yeah, so this is all you have to know. Now NFT marketplace is, as I explained in the start, what are NFTs. Marketplace is, like, is a Apple marketplace, a place where we sell apples, the ones we eat. So yeah, now here you are saying that contract, its name, and now you are defining it a particular criteria. It's is ERC 721 URI storage. This is function is really important. Yeah, this is function is really important. ERC 721 URI storage. Now ERC 721 is the standard format of any NFT that is used on Ethereum chain. Any NFT. Any NFT. But there are other formats that could be used, like ERC20 and things like that. Uh, Here URI stands for, a URI is, let's say you have a picture and you want to make it, the metadata of it, it's unique. It's unique for the picture. So that URI links back to that picture. I don't know if I'm explaining it really well, but I'll just search it up so guys don't have any doubts. So yeah, it's my first time. URI. What the fuck? Why do people make such kind of things? I still don't understand. So you have to put ERC, URI storage, URI in Solidity. What's this meaning? What is URI in Solidity? Okay, this is, don't go for this kind of things. Don't go for any video. If you are learning a certain topic, make sure it's under 5 minutes, and make sure you do every activity they are telling you to do in it. Because if you don't, then it's a really bad thing for you. Because if you don't learn it with them, like if you are not doing whatever I'm doing right now, then it's really bad. So URI stands for Universal Resource Identifier. So as I was saying, it's a universal resource identifier. Think of it as URL. can get all the metadata associated with the NFT, and the metadata can be image, URL, description, attributes, etc. So let's just say that you have a picture. It's a dog picture. So the picture, it will get you the dimensions of that picture, the attributes, the metadata related to it, the picture itself, the pixels it is in, and all the sorry and all the things that are related to it. So yeah, I think that this is not enough for today, so I'll just keep on doing it. So using counters for counters. Now this is what I was when I read it for the first time. I was like, what is this? What are counters? What are counters? But see, this is why I just say that this function is so important, because when I when I when I first learned about counters, I didn't knew much about it, and the funny thing was that here I was uploading it, importing it, and I wasn't even reading. This is the most rookie mistake you can do, and most of us who are learning will do that. I do that. I'm not even lazy. So please, like, pay attention when you guys are gonna do this for your job. So maybe we guys should pay more attention to it. So here we are. We imported OpenZeppelin contracts utils counters.sol. Now what is this? This is a library. A library has a bunch of data in it. A lot bunch. Now these are pre-existing contracts which we are fetching data from, because in reality we cannot afford to write all of this right now. Secondly, it would be really hard for us to make all of that smart contracts secure. So we cannot write. So it's really good when we are importing it from an open Zeppelin contracts. So I just think that, yeah, it's really good. And so yeah, so we are using, see, it has so many basic words like using and is, and simple words like import. They are not anything like out of the world. They are just simple words. Using counters for counters.counter. Now this is gonna be really alarming for you. What is counters.counter? It sounds funny, but if I tell you, it's a really useful thing if you are doing something. So what is the, see, I looked it up long ago. It's So while trying to understand OpenZeppelin contracts, he came up against counters.counter, and this was the answer I bookmarked. Now Stack Exchange, you can bookmark answers if you want them, and I'm here. I literally just searched for it. I didn't remember it. So a lot of times you won't remember the special answers. So I actually tell you to bookmark things, because it will help you in future. So let me summarize this answer, because if you guys are just starting, you won't understand it without my help. So let me summarize this up. So counters is a library, as I said. So when we say using A for B, it means that we attach every function from library A to type B. Do you understand that? You don't, of course. So it means that we attach every function from library A to B. What does that mean? It means that attaching a function to from library A to type B is like you have a library. You have lots of data in it and you attach it to type B so that the type B could utilize it. So libraries are an efficient way to reduce gas fee because you are using the pre-existing data and you don't even have to you know process it. You can just fetch from it. Isn't that great? Like gas fee. Now you guys are gonna ask me what is gas fee. So every time we are coding, the gas fee is really important concept because in solidity in the whole web3, every time we make every time we pass a web3 contract, we do this one thing with it, which is to you know we when we pass the contract, it takes a lot of money to mine it, lot of energy to mine it. Now what is mining? I'll explain it to you. So let's assume that you have a data. You That data is passed through SHA 256. It's an hashing algorithm. It always, no matter what data you put into it, it will always assign this, I think, 32 bits of numbers, which could end up having any number any number of words combinations. So like there are a lot of combinations to put it. So and you can put any amount of words into it. Like you put 3 words, it will still give you that many words. You put 100 words, it will still give you 32 characters. So it's a really good thing. So like he's saying, back to question, counter is a struct data type inside the counters library. So what is struct? Now I think that it struck you, that word is struct. So struct is basically anything including words. uh, so yeah, that's it. That's I think you should search it up. I'm not so sure that I am explaining it well. So you guys should do some things with yourself too. So yeah, this is the source code. You guys could read it. I'm not gonna read it because I could read it. I could read it for you. I could explain it to you, but not everything is for me to explain. When you say using counters for counter.counter, it means that we assign all the functions inside the counter library, like current, increment, to the counter struct, not the counter strike, the counter struct. So yeah, I think that you could use this analogy for understanding this. So when you say using, it means that we assign all the functions inside the counters library. So the counters library has some functions, uh, and you assign it all, like all of those functions like current and increment to the counter struct it's an value. So yeah, uh, it's private token ID, private item sold. I think that I'll end up till here. You guys, I'll give you the resource I'm using to explain it all to you in the description. So I think that is it. Yeah, that's it. Gonna have to figure out how to do this thing. Just I'm such a newbie at it. Yeah, that's the way. Yeah, it's already running. So how do I reach it?